Hello and welcome to the Daily Life Uncut Day 41. Well, it's been another sad day, so to speak. I don't know how to exactly say this in words, but earlier, and I think day 6 or day 7 of me doing these videos, I found out that my grandmother had passed away. She pretty much died of old age, so to speak. I mean, there was nothing that doctors could have done to really save her. It was just her time to go. And we've known for at least a year or two that my grandfather had an aneurysm. And it was kind of like, if you're not familiar with aneurysms, they have a certain scale. And after a certain point, depending on your age, they can't operate without you losing your life. His was at a 6, and for him being over 80 years old, they said that there's no chance of him surviving if they had surgery to possibly fix it. Well, last night he went to the hospital because I'm not sure if it erupted or if it popped or if he was just in pain because it was about to happen anyway. I'm not sure how that exactly happened. Nobody will really tell me exactly if that was what was happening or exactly how it happened. But 6:30 in the morning and he passed away. Well, one thing that makes me more upset than losing him is the simple fact that one of his last wishes were to not have a funeral or to not have a day basically celebrating his life. I guess maybe he thought that his life is not worth celebrating, or if this is really a nail in the coffin towards my dad as like one of his last and final requests just to piss him off. Or make him ponder over things for the rest of his life. I'm not exactly sure how that plays into anything. But so yeah, we've been up all morning calling friends and family and relatives, just trying to see, who knows him, so to speak, or would want to know, or anything like that about him. A few hours ago, Joshua Rush from Happy Time Bros came over. He came and said his condolences, and as you can see in the collaboration videos and stuff that we do, he's always been a really good friend. I don't consider him a friend anymore. Like, since the last few years, I actually consider him a brother. I consider him probably more so than certain members of my family. I'd probably do anything for him, again, than certain members of my family. And I feel that that guy would do anything for me as well. And over certain members in his family. But, he did come over here and we got to talking a little bit. Not too much in depth because, he was having to take care of his kid while I was here and stuff like that. But, it's just nice to be in the comfort of friends and family. I know that my wife, Amanda, her grandmother's not as in the best of shape as well, but it just seems like one thing just keeps snowballing into another that keeps making it worse and worse and worse. And I'm hoping that this is not one of those things that come in threes, so to speak. I'm hoping that this is one of the things that can just be overlooked and overthought, and just let it go and be at rest, and without having to deal with the extra crap, so to speak. I also said in earlier videos that I didn't want to cry or be sad or have any more sad videos or anything like that, because it's just not something that I'm willing to do or to have. But kind of left me no choice with this. It was there's nothing I could do about it. But it's just a little hard to accept the fact that somebody that you didn't get a chance to say goodbye to actually leaves you. And I had that with my best friend Thomas. So I think now is as good a time as any, because I don't want to go ahead and make this video a little bit too long, but at the same time I don't want to make another video talking about this. So this will be the one time I'm going to say it, and it's just going to get to the point and be done with it. One of my friends I've known for 10 years, last February, actually it was January 27th of 2014, he was in his apartment and he was about ready to go out to dinner, and he for some reason had his firearm out. Maybe he was showing it off to a friend the night before. It's still 100% confirmed even a year later. Nobody truly knows why it was out, but he went to put it away. There was no clip in the magazine, or there was no mag in the gun, or whatever you want to say. And it went off. And when it was down below his waistline, for some reason it was turned towards his face, and it went in the right side of his cheek and out the top left part of his head. There was an immediate surgery that took out part of his brain, and a big piece of his skull and stuff like that. It was hard. It was a really hard recovery. It was at least almost 2 months before he could even go home. And at that point, we were thinking, okay, well, he ain't going to be able to live in the same place that he did. So me, his dad, and his brother, we went and packed up his apartment and moved him home, where at that point was the best place for him to be, because he could be watched around the clock, as well as being taken care of, and just on the right track. Well, fast forwarding a little bit, everything was going good. He was up and about, moving around, talking and joking like he was normal, which in my eyes he was. The doctors said at one point that he would never be a normal person, or the way that we knew him, but that never changed. Like, he was always the same old person, had the same old jokes and everything. And a month before he passed away, he said that he wanted to have a plate installed, so he could go back to work, so he could live the normal life. Everything was going great. There was no setbacks. There was no major headaches that would make, complications arise or anything like that. And, he had that moment where he was happy. He was even the best man at my wedding and everything. But, it just it came all of a sudden. He got the operation done. The surgery was over. It was a success, or at least that's what the doctor said. I don't believe it now, but and he had a new plate in his head. Of course, there was swelling, like as anything would happen. And I still didn't want to believe, from what a lot of people said, that nobody really recovers from a brain injury or a head injury, let alone live a full normal life. Like, there's not many people that actually have or will. But was it a week or two after the surgery, we were sitting playing and doing the exact same thing that we would do every single day beforehand, so to speak. I'd be at my house and he would be at his house, and we would play video games. More specifically, we would play on the Xbox. And it just happened to be shortly after we get off playing the game. We were spending 2-3 hours on it at most, and I get a message from his dad, and I was sitting there thinking, okay, well, what's going on? And he goes, well, he's like, you killed my son. I was like, excuse me? He goes, how long were you playing games? I go, oh, maybe an hour or two. I go, and he was such in a panic. He kept telling me that that I had, he just passed away, and I just didn't believe it. So I called him and I tried to talk to him and everything, and then he just, he told me that you played games with him too long and it gave him a headache, which was weird because he never told me that he had a headache. And that was pretty much it. Like, my best friend had passed away. Like, there was just nothing I could do. And the one other thing that I'm sorry that I couldn't really inform anybody with is I can't really give too many great stories of my grandfather, the one that was supposed to be the focal point of this video. But I figured might as well kill two birds in one stone, so to speak, because I hate to have this type of feeling of sadness that I don't want to share more than once. And I feel that nobody should have to go through something like this. But I can't share too many things about my grandfather because I don't have many great feelings with him. Like, I didn't have the connection that my sisters have. I don't have a connection that my father had with him. Even though, they were at odds at quite a point of both of their lives. The only thing that I could really remember that was really good that they did was when me and my sister got bikes for one of our Christmas presents. They sat there and told us that we can't play with the bikes, or we can't go ride the bikes out around the neighborhood. And we were so confused and sitting there like, why is this going to happen? Why can't we do it? And turns out that they wanted to ride it first. They wanted to get on the bike, go around the neighborhood, and make sure they worked. Well, my first thought was, why couldn't they do that before they gave us the bikes, if that was the case? But it just felt like they were just trying to have some fun and be kids again. Well, yeah. But I know now he's in a better place. He's with his wife. He's finally resting. And, I really appreciate everything that he's done in his life as a person, but I hope that one day I'll be able to actually talk to him more than 5 minutes or so, especially at my grandmother's funeral. But I know this video is quite long.